Hey, so I hear Toby wants to be cool like me and play clarinet. So let me show you. When you first get your stuff out, you'll want to get a reed, probably a size 2.5 or 3 to start. Your band director may pick a size for him to start on. And I like the Van Doren brand. I buy the silver box, but there is a blue box that's a little bit cheaper you might want to get first. And you'll probably need 3 to 5 of these. You may go through them pretty quickly because at the beginning we break them a lot. So anyway, look for, my favorite brand is Van Doren because they usually last the longest if he doesn't break them when putting things together. Again, probably 2.5 or 3 is the strength, so it's not too hard for him to play on. So you'll soak it the whole time you're putting your clarinet together. And you can see this is the tip, which is really breakable, so you want to be real careful about where that goes. I've even remember breaking it on my clothing sometimes if I'm not careful, so keep it away from sweaters or whatever. And then the bottom is a little thicker down here. So you soak it. And I'm going to take that out for now just so I can talk. I like to start with the bell, the bottom piece, and then I put the lower joint in to the bell. You just twist it a little bit and line up the logo marks. I have a buffet clarinet, so I'm going to line up that buffet logo. And then the next piece is the upper joint. This lower joint will have that thumb rest on it. And I put a little pencil grip around it just so it's a little softer to hold. Then the top joint looks like this. It's got a cork up here and a cork down here. And it's also got this bridge key, so if you put your fingers on the back, your thumb on the back, and then 1, 2, 3 on the holes, not on this little silver button, but over the holes, that'll hold down the bridge key, which is this thing. You can see if you push that middle button, which is really the most important button, you don't have to use all 3 fingers, I guess. If you use these 2, that'll lift the bridge. And you have to have that bridge lifted when you put the clarinet in the bottom joint, or else it could scratch the keys, because we're going to lift that. So I just grab across the front of my horn, make sure that's lifted, and I'm going to twist it together. And I'm going to line it up in the back. So I don't know if you can see that here. There's kind of a little tab, and then there's an indented spot. So it should line up straight like that. See how there's a little kind of extra part of the silver, but you want to line up this part right here. Okay? And if that's not lined up, some of your notes may not come out. So you can always check that and see if you're having problems getting notes out if that's lined up. And then, actually, I'm going to mention that now. When you take it apart too, you're going to lift again and twist. Not all the way around. If you go all the way around, you're going to scratch these keys right here. So just kind of wiggle it back and forth to put it together. Line it up like that. And then I'm going to put the barrel on. Again, there should be a logo on there, so I'm going to line that up with the logo on the upper joint. Like that. And then I put on my mouthpiece because it's the most breakable part. And your horn will come with a generic mouthpiece, which it's fine to play on the first year, or you can upgrade to like a Van Doren mouthpiece. There's a B45 that's kind of easier to blow on, or a 5RV lyre. Either one of those is good. And if it's too tight, you can put a little cork grease on those corks. But mine fits. There you go. So the hole goes on the back. And then there's the front. My mouthpiece even has a little logo on it I can line up. And then you'll get your ligature. And yours will probably look different than this. But some of them will go inverted, which means the screw's on the top. So if you send me a picture of what yours looks like, I can let you know which way it goes. But that goes on the back on mine. And then I get that reed that I've supposedly been soaking on the whole time. And I'll put it on this side. I'll try to get where you can see how I do it. And line it up with the tip, but you don't want it to go past the tip of the mouthpiece because then it can break, because you're going to be putting your tongue on that near the tip. So here's the side. Going to line it up. And then there's a line on my mouthpiece that I put the top of the ligature at, and then I screw it on, And the screws, like I said, maybe on the front or on the back. I like on the back better because it gets out of the way of my chin. And then you line it up on the flat part of the opening. You put it as close to the tip of the mouthpiece as you can, so you can push your finger on that a little bit and make sure it's lined up with the top, but not past the tip. Like that. And then you'll learn this at school, hopefully, but you put your top teeth on the top of the mouthpiece, and then you make your bottom lip flat, and your chin will be flat too. And then you'll pull those corners tight on the sides, and that'll get better as you go, so that the air doesn't leak. And then if you blow with no fingers down, that's an open G. So hopefully you can get to that note. It is on the fingering chart, the second line over. Right here. It's called open G because none of the keys are covered. And hopefully you can tell that from that chart. There's nothing darkened in. And if it's colored in, that means you put a finger down. The little teardrop looking thing is the back of the clarinet. There's a thumb hole, and then there's what's called an octave key. You probably won't need that octave key for the first few weeks of band, but at home you're welcome to try it and see if you can get the higher notes out. But start with just, like I said, this G, and then if you work your way back as low as you can go, that's usually the easiest way to be successful on getting notes out when you're a beginner. And then try to see if you can get up to this B flat right here. You could probably get most of those in your first couple of weeks of playing clarinet on there. So hopefully this video will help you and your mom.